Unfortunately for many people right now, the reality is that school is starting soon. And for some of you, that means that you have to put down the controller and pick up the notepad. But I am an advocate for video games, and I'm here to tell you that you should not put down that controller, but embrace it. A couple months ago, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in nursing, and I have a lot of different study tactics that I use to not only progress in my YouTube channel to get over 56,000 subscribers, but also to study and get a 4.0 GPA. Alright, 3.96, but whatever. The point is, I played tons of video games throughout my entire college career and I turned out fine, and this video is about how you can do the same no matter what level of school you're in. So pick up that textbook and tell your mom it's a multiplayer game and you can't pause it, because we're going to learn how to study and play video games. If you're looking for something good to listen to while studying, one of the best options is an audiobook. This video is sponsored by Audible, an Amazon company that offers audiobooks to its subscribers. And I just happen to have a link down in the description that gives you a free 30-day trial of Audible and one free audiobook. And the coolest thing about this deal is even if you cancel the subscription, you get to keep that audiobook forever for free. So head on down to the link in the description and sign up for your free 30-day risk-free trial of Audible. Now stop daydreaming. It's time to get back to work. There are many conflicting opinions when it comes to studying in the educational community. Some think that studying should be focused and not have any distractions. Others think that it's important to let yourself a little free when you're studying. I maintained incredibly high marks in the bachelor's degree nursing program, which is an incredibly hard program, and I managed to do all of this while simultaneously building a large Halo-based YouTube channel focused on analytical and tips videos, which require me to be very good at the game, which requires a lot of practice. Basically, I played a lot of video games in college, and I did just fine. I hear too many people that say that they sell their Xbox because they're going to med school. They get rid of their PlayStation because their mother says that their grades are low in math. If you think video games are causing your grades to suffer, it's because you're not playing them correctly. You're not studying correctly. Did you guys know that I'm literally a published author on the subject? Yes, during my time in school, I wrote a research paper so great that the university says, wow, we need to put this in a book about studying, and they published me. I bring this up because it's important to trust my advice when it comes to studying effectively and playing video games together. I'm a believer that your mind won't learn if it's stressed, and if your mind is cluttered with a ton of information, it needs some way to let that loose. For me, and I'm sure a ton of you out there, video games are a great stress reliever. Not only that, but they're actually very cheap too. 2 hours of bowling with shoes costs you about 20 bucks. That's about $10 an hour for a pretty fun time. If you added up all of the playtime that I've had in Halo 5, which is well over 14 days of playtime, and if you compare that to the $60 I spent on the game, Halo 5 only costs about 17 cents an hour. So if it's a stress reliever and it's cheap, why don't more people play video games while studying or in school in general? It's because video games aren't educational. At least I'm assuming none of you are playing on the Leapfrog. Yeah! Oh, this is so intense! But I choose to play video games while studying because I believe that 1 hour with an incredibly clear and stress-free mind is way better than 4 hours of a very stressed out mind. Most experts and I agree that if you're going to study for about an hour, you should have some leisure activity for about 30 minutes. So your total time of studying is 1 hour and 30 minutes, but you would be playing video games for 30 of those. I would do this frequently with 2-hour sessions. I would study hard for an hour, play an hour of video games, and then study hard for another hour. It was 3 hours total, but it felt very fast because I had that big chunk of video games in the middle to help me de-stress and calm down. Not only that, but it also felt like the hour break in between my 2-hour chunks of study sessions gave my brain a little bit of time to soak in the information that I read or practiced. And if you are tasked with rote memorization, I have another method that may work for you as well. In school, I had to learn human anatomy. Not just this is your head, this is your arm, but I had to learn, hey, there's a small hole in the middle of your head that you'll probably never see and doesn't really matter, but what's its name? I had to memorize the look, shape, and name of every bone, muscle, and nerve in the body, and it sucked. In this situation, if it was just about rote memorization, I would make note cards of everything that I had to learn. Then I would either play Halo 5's Breakout Mode, or I'd play some Counter-Strike. You could also play Call of Duty Search and Destroy if you wanted to. The reason that I played those games and game modes is because those are game modes where you only have one life, and if you die, you have to wait the rest of the round. During that waiting period, I would go through my note cards. So if I played about 3 hours of Counter-Strike, I would go through my note cards about 20 different times. I got an A in anatomy, and the highest grade in the class, and I played video games every single time that I studied. And if you're really trying to get that knowledge into your head, if we go to the previous method I talked about with the blocks, you can actually use note cards in that hour where you're playing video games when you're dead. It's just a little trick that I used sometimes when I had a very big test or during finals week. Also, if you can find your textbook on audiobook, it can be pretty helpful to listen to it while you play video games. Don't play any of the sound in the video game and just have some headphones in playing an audiobook of your textbook. And I know this sounds like another shameless plug, but I do actually have a free trial of Audible, which is an audiobook service. Lots of textbooks are on there. What's cool about it is if you're getting textbooks for your upcoming semester and you cancel Audible, you still keep that audiobook forever, so you'll get the textbook for the rest of the semester. Check out the link for that down in the video description. Okay, that's enough of that. Now this is the main thing you should take away from this video, and I've said it before, but just because you play video games and study doesn't mean you're gonna be a bad student. Playing video games irresponsibly and binging all night long on video games when you should be studying will, though. Play video games responsibly and use them as a stress relief tool when you have to study. I've given you a ton of tips in this video, and I think I have convinced enough of you out there to at least try it. You'll be surprised at how more efficient your mind thinks when it's not bogged down with all of the stress that studying can cause. If you have any questions, feel free to post them down below. I love reading comments. It is my favorite part about YouTube, and I will answer any questions that you guys have. If you've never seen me before and want some cool analytical Halo knowledge, please consider subscribing. I make tons of awesome Halo and video game videos. And as always, thank you all for watching. Please stay notable, and I will see you in the next video.